Hello dear friends, I'm recording this video in the south of Spain, in the city of Malaga in Andalusia, and the city is waking up and it's a little bit windy, so I guess I will record it quite well because there are not many people here, but I'm sorry if you will hear the wind. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the wind, the view here. So instead of recording monthly horoscope for December, I will talk about the transit of Jupiter through the sign of Capricorn. And I will mention here actually that there are two important events in December. One is that Jupiter enters the sign of Capricorn, which is a big thing. And the other one is a partial solar eclipse at the 4th degree of Capricorn on December 26th. So I will not talk about the eclipse, but if you are interested in eclipses, check my videos. I have a special video about eclipses in the summer 2019, and I have a special video about lunar nodes on Cancer Capricorn axis. So the same trend continues now in the end of 2019 and in the 2020. There are going to be two eclipses, one in December 2019 and one in January 2020. And now we will continue to talk about the influence of Jupiter's transit in Capricorn for all of the zodiac signs. Jupiter in Capricorn in individual horoscope shows that what makes sense to do further in one particular area of life, what makes sense from the point of view of the future, and what really matters for the future, because some things are gone forever, let's say. So now we need to see what makes really sense to do in the future. In natal horoscope, the position of Jupiter in Capricorn signifies high status in society, but mainly because of material possession, not so much because of spiritual and moral qualities of a person. And now the transit of Jupiter in Capricorn will affect our status, job, career, real estate, and hopefully will do a lot of good in this area for every one of us. So in the area of life symbolized by the Capricorn sign in your horoscope, you will have a great need to succeed and achieve something extraordinary. You will have very big and clearly defined ambitions. And I suppose you know, if you follow astrology, that Saturn has been in the Capricorn sign since 2017, that Pluto is there since 2008, that Ketu, South Node, is there in 2018 and 19. So we are talking here about the same area of life that will now be further emphasized by the transit of Jupiter. Since everything looks like trouble is there in that certain area of life, then it seems that Jupiter is entering that area of our life that has been traumatized even in the last years. Jupiter is entering to save us and to give some help, because we really need help there. So if you're lucky enough, then with Jupiter you will lay out some new foundations for the solid 12-year future development during the year 2020. If you do not have the basic knowledge of astrology, you don't know what we are here speaking about, please go to my website, www.symbolicthinking.net, and you can see that I offer basic astrology course for beginners. First lesson is even for free, and with the help of this lesson you can create your own horoscope. Of course, you can later on buy the whole course and study astrology. It's very useful to know the basics. So I will here briefly say which areas of life will be affected for each zodiac sign, even if you know this area well. For Aries people, Jupiter will affect career, life success, status, it will concern one parent or both parents, relationship toward parents, or any authority figures. There can be help from authority figures. It is actually a very important place because it's cardinal house for Aries, so it can improve actually all areas of life. For Taurus people, Jupiter transit will influence the change of fate or their life philosophy or their attitude towards their higher self. As meaning the ninth astrological house can help them if they wish to travel, to stay abroad for a long time, or they will change their attitude towards the foreign country. Gemini people really need Jupiter in the 8th astrological house because they need to go through some final psychological, energetic, and physical even transformations. And actually, Jupiter there can help them to find a teacher or a therapist that will help them to heal something that was bothering them on psychological level in the last years. Crabs, as other cardinal signs, they will help they will really feel the influence of Jupiter in a strong way. Jupiter is important for crabs. It is the co-ruler of this sign, so it can really help them to improve their relationship or to understand better what do they need in the relationship, in their marriage partner relationship, or with their clients and things like that, because this was the field where they studied a lot in the last years. Leo people, Jupiter can help them to live healthier life, to rejuvenate, refresh, or maybe to move a little bit more, to be more energetic. Can change even the situation and job, or to subordinates if they have those. Virgo people, if they wish to express themselves in a new way and to develop creativity, then Jupiter now brings recognition and success. If they started to do something new and they were not sure if they are good enough, Jupiter is now showing, yes, you are. Just be creative, just be relaxed. Enjoy that what you are doing. This transit also can have a positive impact on the life of children of Virgos. Libra, as cardinal sign, they eagerly await the help of Jupiter. Jupiter is exalted in the 4th house, as well as in the 9th and 12th, so potentially it can bring a lot of good for Libras, Taurus, and Aquarius people. Libra people will have the biggest benefits from Jupiter next year. They need it very much because Jupiter rules in the 4th astrological house, and this is the area of life where Libras really suffered a lot. So this is about their home, family, emotional life, and in their personal life. So Jupiter comes where they need it the most. Scorpio people with this transit will change their way of communication and start thinking positively, and will broaden their thought. They will expand their mind, and this is really good for them in this area of their life. This is something that will create foundation for future growth, to broaden mind. Sagittarius people, well, finally help arrives. Otherwise it could not be, because Sagittarius people were really struggling a lot in the last years to find what they can do that can give them money and make sense at the same time. So they finally have to admit to themselves with this transit what really is worth doing and what is not. It's very good for them in that area. So Capricorn people, what to say? They have very important period since the year 2017 with Capricorn, especially there. So Jupiter comes here as the crown of everything. Jupiter will help them and forgive many for everything what they did, and even give them some gift because they deserve this gift for their hard work they did in the past. It's a very good thing for Capricorn. Aquarius. So great help comes from heaven. Jupiter in the 12th house is something like God's protection, and they really need it because in many aspects Aquarius people were working against themselves. So with Jupiter they will reconsider that. And Pisces. It's interesting time for Pisces because Jupiter and Neptune, their rulers, will create a positive aspect and save Pisces people in a way. Those two planets will enable them to realize their great desires, to to manifest what they wanted. In a way, in their long-term plans maybe will come true in that sense, I mean, to manifest. It will expand their field of action. It will help them to work through internet, through projects, or worldwide. You know, so like life is opening its horizons for Pisces. There is another interesting thing I want to say about Jupiter in Capricorn. I will mention here two conjunctions that Jupiter will make. First of all, Jupiter will make conjunction with Pluto. And it did the same thing in 2007 and 8, before Jupiter entered Capricorn 12 years ago. So if you have planets or important horoscope points at the last degrees of Sagittarius and Gemini, now can be extremely important time for you, because here for you 12-year cycle finishes. If you started a job in that time, you can stop doing it. If you bought the house, you can sell it, you know, and start new, things like that. It is important that this conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn will happen at the 24th and 22nd degree, always these 20th degrees for all of the conjunctions that will happen like in the 2020. And this conjunction actually can bring wealth and big success in material fields. I almost worry saying about that, because nowadays many are obsessed with the money and material possessions. But we are talking here actually about the abundance, and it is possible and it is there for many. So all depends on the personal level of awareness and on the level of personal development. So it depends on that how you will react to this. I have a few questions for you. If you have planets in Capricorn or in Cancer or in a cardinal sign or in earth signs, you know, then you can be influenced very much with the conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto. So the questions are, how did you feel and what did you do in 2007 or 8? And was that year the beginning of something new? Was there then a breakup of something and the beginning of something new? So how satisfied are you with your success in the present time since then? Can you continue to build your life on the basis you set then or not? Are you ready for a new phase, and what makes the most sense to do next? These are questions for you. If you're satisfied with your answers here, then you are very lucky and you can enter a new successful life phase. Jupiter will meet with Pluto at the end of March, in April also, and few times during the year. So it is not only one chance, the whole chance to use this energy, the whole year 2020s. And then also the last thing I will mention today, Jupiter will meet with Saturn at the end of 2020 in the last degrees of Capricorn and first degrees of Aquarius. This signifies new time in the life of individuals. Why new time? Because something is irreversibly changed. The old time can never return. It was like you were in puberty once and you cannot be again, because you outgrown something in your life, because your children are growing now, because your profession does not exist anymore. You know, things like that are happening. This is especially important for Aries, Libras, Crab, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgos, but also for other people maybe not so intense. So the questions are, have you achieved any success in which you can build a life for the next decades? What do you need to do now to create the conditions for the future development? And are you ready to start something completely new in that area of life without regretting the past? You know, you don't need to regret the past. That's the key thing. You just go further now with this. And that's all for today. You can feel free to order personal consultations with me based on astrology, astrological psychology, and spiritual astrology. I record some of the readings, so check my webpage, symbolicthinking.net, to see what do I record. I also offer consultancy based on Thetahealing and Feng Shui even. I mentioned that you can buy the Basics of Tropic Astrology course. If you are interested, check that, please. And if you like this video, like it, share it, and subscribe. Thank you very much for that. Until next time, I wish you to be lucky and generous with Jupiter.